Hey everybody, this is Shawn. Welcome back to our channel. Let me just make sure that we're live. It's actually the first time that we're live streaming something. Oh, we have to be live if Doug is here. Hey, welcome everybody. This is Shawn from the Security Investigations Leadership channel. Today we have a special guest. Let me bring him on stage. David from the Security Guard Command. Hey, David, can you unmute yourself?
There we go.
Perfect. Welcome, Doug, to today's video. So what ended up happening was a couple of days ago, a subscriber reached out to me and he sent us his use of force video. Apparently he was involved in some type of apprehension of a shoplifter and there was some force used and he wanted somebody to review it. And I asked him, hey, is it okay if you have us review it on our YouTube platform? So this is basically, I know I call it an expert review. This is really a peer review. And what I like about David from the Security Guard Command is he doesn't have law enforcement experience. His experience is security, but he's done a lot of law enforcement related activity in doing so. And I think David is in a good predicament to criticize the event as best as he could. I think he's going to do a good job at it. So this is our first time at this. I don't even know what program this is called, but it looks like it's working. So let's get started here. David, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's kind of a cold day today. It's been raining, but yeah. How you doing, Shawn?
I'm doing pretty good. Today's my day off. I got a little bit of sleep, like 6 hours, so I'm good.
We're in the same boat there.
For sure. Oh, I forgot. David, can you briefly describe your experiences, your security related background?
Yeah. So got into security now about 19 years ago. Started off as a nightclub security, and I had zero experience. I had never even set foot in a bar in my life, and I just spoke with the manager of security there, and he hired me on the spot, and that's how I got started. And I've done retail security. I've done. I currently work in hospital security now, and I've done armed security. I've done a lot of different areas of security.
Okay. Have you ever been in a use of force event?
Yes, many times.
Okay, especially working at a hospital, sometimes on a daily basis.
Almost every single day. Yeah.
Okay. Were any of your events that you were involved in, have they ever been critically reviewed by any staff members?
Yeah, a few of them have been. We're required to write reports internally. Some of those reports have to be sent out to an actually outside review as well.
Okay. And you have an active guard card and you're still currently employed, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to share my screen real quick. I did cut out this security officer's name for obvious reasons. Let's see here. Okay. David, can you see my Word document?
No, I don't see anything yet.
Okay. No problem. Let me see. Maybe I can copy and paste. Okay, so wait a minute. Okay, so I copied and pasted the event. Oh no, I just created like 20 different entries here. Let me try one more time to share my screen. Okay, can you see my Word document?
No, nothing's showing up yet.
Okay, no problem. So what I'll do is I'll read from it. So it says, I'm making up a date here. On on January 1st of 2024 at the store at 14:20 hours, and I'm actually reading verbatim. Upon arrival for duty, officer myself was informed of multiple suspicious individuals that had entered the store. One appearing Hispanic female, approximately 5'5", 5'4", between 100 and 115 pounds, with black hair, pulled back in a ponytail, wearing a tan sweater with black leggings, ripped at the knees and slippers. One appearing Hispanic male between 5'5" and 5'7", with short, dark hair, a black jacket with gray t-shirt and faded blue jeans. Guys, if as I read this script, just try to imagine the scenario going down. Continuing, subjects went to the liquor aisle where the female subject proceeded to fill a large handbag with several bottles of alcohol, while the male subject grabbed several bottles until his hands were full. Subject got in line at checkout before walking past checkout, attempting to leave the store. Officer blocked their path, telling the subjects that the items need to be paid for before grabbing the bag from the female subject. The female subject proceeded to lash out and resisted returning the merchandise and tripped, falling to the ground, where she proceeded to kick at officer's legs and groin before throwing one of the bottles at the ATL and STL. Wait a minute. No, usually I guess security jargon and ATL is attempt to locate, but I don't know what he's referring to here. Well, if you guys know what jargon this or what this refers to, let us know in the comment section box. He said that he's throwing she threw one of the bottles at the ATL and STL, keeping the male subject from striking officer myself. Officer maintained control over the bag with alcohol and got it away from the female subject, whom struck officer myself in the head with her slipper while using derogatory language. The location is a grocery store that has no loss prevention personnel on site and no place to secure subjects safely until LEO arrives, and guard was the only personnel on site. Okay. Any clarifications you want me to make on that script, David?
No, I think, like you mentioned, jargon is, I would avoid the jargon just
Okay.
because if this ever went to a court and the jury is listening to this report being read to them, it's going to confuse them and it's going to cloud the situation. And they may focus more on that jargon than the actual synopsis of what happened.
Okay. That's a good point. Do you feel like the jargon here maybe might alienate our security officer with the jury?
Yeah, a little bit. Definitely. Another thing that that I noticed is they used the word, what was the word he used? As far as language goes, derogatory language.
Okay, so he says this officer maintained control over the bag with alcohol and got away from the female subject, whom struck officer myself in the head with her slipper while using derogatory language. Okay,
Right.
go ahead.
And I feel like it's important to state exactly what the suspect said, and don't be afraid to use the actual language in your report. That's only going to further bolster your position on your use of force.
Okay, I love that advice because we don't know what type of derogatory language it is. I mean, is this a racial term? Does it matter? I mean, I think it does matter. Okay, so you're suggesting that the security officer clarify the language in the report, and it's almost like if you use force against somebody, like you want to describe what the force is, not just I use force.
Right.
Okay.
Another thing that I would say is missing from this report is what the officer verbalized toward the suspects as well.
Okay.
I didn't see any mention of any commands given or any mention of, advising the suspect that they were being detained or being placed under arrest for anything. So I think that needs to precede the use of force.
Okay, that definitely makes sense. I agree. California, what differentiates a misdemeanor from a felony is a dollar amount, and I think if the amount that is stolen or about to be stolen is over $950, it becomes a felony. Do you think it's important for him to like list how much like estimated value that merchandise was or that liquor?
Yeah, I think just for the sake of clarity and transparency, it should probably be included in that report as well. I also question whether the security officer witnessed the incident, witnessed the concealment of product, or whether he witnessed whether this suspect bypassed the checkout, or was he advised that they passed the checkout.
Okay, so let's go back to that. So he did say that the subjects got in line at checkout before walking past checkout, attempting to leave store. But okay, so what he would need to do is put like leaving the store without paying for the merchandise, right?
Right. And as far as like security officers' ability to detain or arrest, if it's a misdemeanor, has to be committed in their presence, and they have to witness it. With a felony, they can have reasonable belief that it happened. If they, if the manager of the store manager or store employee says, "Hey, they did not pay," then that might, constitute a reasonable belief that they have committed a crime. But if it's a misdemeanor, that's not going to give them the ability to rightfully detain them.
Absolutely, I agree. And then also, if this is a felony, I think to the courts and to the jury, there's more of a reason to go hands-on with somebody. I mean, especially, California, San Francisco area, Los Angeles. If this is like a candy bar, I think that the courts are going to expect you to use less force than if this was a $5,000 product or something like that.
Yeah.
Now, I noticed that she put the description, like the size and the weight of both subjects, of both suspects. Why do you think it's important or not important to list the actual size of these people that they're attempting to detain?
Well, you've got two subjects here, and if it was just the female by herself, that your use of force has to be equal to the use of force being used against you. And in this case here, if this subject is a lot smaller, then it's very easy to go overboard on that use of force.
Yes, absolutely. Now these people are actually kind of small. I mean, I'm 5'6.5", and I'm a small dude. But for somebody bigger like you, maybe the courts would expect you to use less force. So, it is important that he lists that information. I don't know if he made it like a text message, our security officer subscriber text message to me to describe what happened, or this was an actual report. But I'm glad that we're reviewing this because there's some things that we need to change. Okay, let's go ahead and watch the video here. Oh, we got like 5 visitors. Hey, also, guys, so David has his own YouTube channel. It's called The Security Guard Command. Let's help him get to 1,000 subscribers. He's almost at that mark. All right. Almost there. Okay, let's watch the video.
Let go. Just let go.
Get off.
Let go.
Get off of me, dude.
Just let go. Hey.
Get off of me.
Let the bag go.
Get off of me.
Let the bag go.
Get off of me. I'll get my other stuff out and give you the bottle of kaboom. Get off of me, dude. That's illegal.
We'll take that back. Give that stuff.
That's okay. Fuck ass bitch.
Okay, so let's go through this. Man, this is going to be hard to describe it unless I have a pointer. Let me figure this out. So I'll share my screen again. Oh, this is not good. Give me a second here. Okay, let me play it one more time.
Let go.
Get off me.
Let go.
Okay, so I'll pause. The guy that you see, it looked like he has jeans and white shoes that's standing like outside of the store, kneeling down. That is suspect number 2. That's the male that's like 5'5" or 5'7". The lady on the bottom is a suspect. The guy to the right is the security officer, I think. And then the gentleman that's standing up, that's next to him, I'm pretty sure that's like a store associate, like a clerk. And then the guy that's standing doing nothing right now to the left of the screen, I think he's also a store clerk. David, you agree with these observations?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that's correct.
Okay, let's watch it again.
Just let go.
Get off me.
Let go.
Get off of me, dude.
Just let go.
Get off of me.
Let the bag go.
Get off of me.
Let the bag go.
Get off of me. I'll get my other stuff out and give you the bottle of the boot. Get off of me, dude. That's illegal.
We'll take that back. Give that stuff.
That's okay. Fuck ass bitch.
David, what are your observations on this? What's your thoughts?
Well, one, I think this security officer is a little too focused on the female subject on the ground and was a little bit preoccupied with that. And when the male subject approached, it placed him into a little bit more danger. It was good that the store associate was present and was kind of shielding the officer from him. And so that was good. That helped out a lot, but I think it's definitely important to be aware of your surroundings, to maintain that situational awareness for not just what's immediately in front of you, but the surroundings as well.
Absolutely. And it looks like the store associate, I could have sworn that I heard him tell the male suspect to get back.
Yeah, I heard the same thing.
Okay. So maybe they've been in a situation like this. Maybe they have talked about each other's roles. But I have to agree, I don't feel really comfortable with that guy right there. I mean, once you go to the ground fighting with this person, you have that male to worry about. And then the question is how much involvement are these store associates going to get involved in? Are they going to help you? Are you on your own? Because remember, he's the only security officer on scene.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead.
I was actually in a almost identical situation, working security at a large warehouse retailer, and management had called me in while they were in the process of watching a female subject conceal items and then approach the checkout. And so I was already inside, and they had already advised me as to who to watch for. And I saw her, and as soon as she bypassed the check stands, they told me, go ahead and take custody, stop her. So I moved in, and I began to attempt to detain her. She had on one of those really big poofy jackets, so it was kind of a struggle. She was able to move around inside that jacket pretty freely. So it was really hard to maintain control of the subject. While I'm on the ground, she's in a sitting position trying to squirm away. I look up and I see 3 very large male subjects entering the establishment, coming straight towards me. And I immediately knew that they were there for her. They were her backup. And so at that point, I had to make the call to release her for a matter of safety. There's a lot of people around in the store. It was very crowded, very busy. And it would have been severely outnumbered. The disparity of force that I would have been up against would have just been something that I probably would not have been able to control. And so I had to make the decision to release her. We did recover the product. She did let go of it in the struggle. So they did not make out with any product at all. But they did leave the store and immediately split up into different directions, to try to avoid capture. But it was almost identical to this with the subject approaching as well.
So it looks like what you're describing in your account is basically disengagement of the situation, and it seems like that was proper because you got your property back already. Like our goal as security is to, yes, it's observe and report, but you might work for a hands-on company that wants you to prevent as much loss as possible. And you already met your objectives, right?
Yes.
Yeah, get the property back. And then you saw that there was more people coming in, and that's when you decided, hey, I'm going to disengage. So yes, that's absolutely necessary if you want to live another day. And I'm not too sure the security officer was thinking about that. Maybe I don't know. But what I like is that he got the property back, and he didn't follow through with the private person's arrest. I'm okay with that. He met his objective, and then he went back inside and wrote a report. The security officer, I think he's wondering, like, did I do the right thing? Did I use too much force? And I don't think he used too much force. Do you?
No, I don't think he, in fact, I didn't really see him go hands-on with the subject at all. It looks like his focus was the property that was taken. He had a hold of the bag the entire time. It didn't look like he was trying to detain, per se, the subject. He was just trying to get the property back. And had that subject just let go of the property, she would have been free to go, is what it looks like from here.
Yes. Okay. So next, I want to go over the merchant privilege rule, because this looks like this is a merchant. The merchant privilege rule in California allows private security officers to detain shoplifters and actually use force, use a reasonable amount of force to recover that property. So let's review that that section here. So it is here. Okay, tell me you can see my screen now.
It's a little bit small. It's hard to read on the screen here.
Okay. Are you using your phone or are you in a laptop?
No, I'm on a laptop. I mean, I just made the screen a little bigger. I can read it now.
Okay, perfect. So this is 490.5. If you're chiming in from another state, keep in mind that the rules and regulations in California are very similar to your state. I know Oregon has a merchant privilege rule, and I know that who else has a merchant privilege rule? I think Florida has one. I think all the states, and Nevada for sure has one as well. But it says here, in making a detention, a merchant, theater owner, or person employed by a library facility. And remember, if you don't have to be the actual merchant, if you're the merchant's agent, this rule applies to you. It says you may use a reasonable amount of non-deadly force to protect himself or herself and to prevent escape of the person detained. But there's an or. It says or the loss of tangible or intangible property. So you can use a reasonable amount of force to prevent somebody or to prevent the store from losing tangible or intangible property. That's what this criminal code section does. So if you guys are wondering, can I use force to detain a shoplifter? Yes, you can use force to detain a shoplifter. And you can also use a reasonable amount of force to recover that property. It says right here. California is very similar to the states in your area. All right, let me go back to streaming here. Anything you want to add on that, David?
Yeah, so I want to discuss a little bit about how he was holding that bag and whether that would be considered use of force or not, because how is that any different than, say, bolting a product down to the floor? If he's got a grip on that and he's holding it, is that actually going to be considered use of force if he never actually touched the subject?
Okay, let's take a look.
Let go.
Get off of me.
Let go.
Get off of me, dude.
Just let go. Hey.
Get off of me.
Let the bag go.
Get off of me.
Let the bag go.
Get off of me. I'm getting my stuff out of you.
I think you said let the bag go.
Get off of me, dude. That's illegal.
We'll take that back. Give that stuff.
That's okay. Fuck ass bitch.
I just get so frustrated watching this video. I mean, this is what California has become. Any other suggestions?
He it makes me uncomfortable how close he got to the subject while his hands were busy holding that object. Had she let go with one of her hands, she would have had an opportunity to strike him in the face. You know, he was very close to her. She could have spit on him. She could have headbutted him.
Yes, absolutely. You know, I also see some other crimes here. Can you think about any other crimes?
Well, the breaking of the bottle, that was destruction of property. The fact that she kicked at him, that's assault.
Yes. And the fact that that beer bottle, or I'm sorry, the alcoholic beverage container can cause serious bodily injury. You work at a hospital. I think that's an assault with a deadly weapon.
Yeah, and I think that it could definitely go that direction, especially if she managed to get a hold of a broken piece of glass and try to use it as a weapon.
Yes. We do have quite a bit of people here. We'll go through the comments, guys. No worries. And then the fact that I think she slapped him across the face with the chancla, the slipper, Spanish. That's also a crime. And I think that would be classified into battery. So you have like 3 different crimes. Westwell actually says conspiracy, and I agree. A conspiracy in California and almost all the other states is an agreement between 2 or more people with that agreement to commit a crime. And that's what it looks like here. You definitely have a conspiracy. Now, make sure that the conspiracy laws in your state cover misdemeanors as well, because originally I think it was only meant for felonies. But yes, you do have that as well.
Yeah, good point.
Okay, let's go to the comments. So Mario Castillo says that when there's a misdemeanor, you have to witness the crime. Yeah, that witness. You can use, by the way, you can use any of your senses to witness an event: smell, touch, taste. I don't know how you would taste a crime going on, but you can use any of your senses. And with the felony, just like David says, you don't have to witness a felony. You just have to have a reasonable belief that it's been committed. Herbert Scott says, I've worked security at luxury car lots, witnessed over a dozen break-ins, called the cops, and reported what I saw. Perfect. And, you know, that looks like you work for an observe and report security company, and there's no problem with that at all. I mean, essentially, you have these felonies being committed, and when you interject yourself into situations, you can get seriously hurt. So we're good with you just observing and reporting. And the Westwell says, hi guys, should female subjects be presumed to have male associates waiting in the wings? And I'll leave that question to David.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think that you absolutely should assume that there is a greater threat than what's immediately in front of you, just for your own safety. If there happens to be nobody else, then you're better off. But if you don't account for those additional threats, then, you know, you're putting yourself and others at risk.
Definitely. And, you know, there's something called, I don't know, it's called the rule of 3 or 2. If there's one person, there's 2. If there's 2 people, there's probably 4. And the one you got to worry about is the one you can't see.
Yeah, exactly. And I've run into that at the hospital where we were chasing a combative person out of the lobby of the emergency room. And right as we exited the door, guess who popped out from the side with this guy's brother? And he starts yelling, hey, leave my brother alone. And pretty soon it was now 2 against 2 instead of 2 against 1. So now we're a little bit more, the odds are a little bit more evened out between security and the subjects.
That's definitely a perfect example. Sorry. Okay. Going back to this scene. I mean, you have the screen in front of you guys. You know what? I think I'm starting to think maybe it's a good idea to close these doors, have the associates close these doors so that you don't have to deal with the 2 guys waiting outside. On a negative note, though, it does prevent that person from egress. They're kind of stuck in there. You don't really want somebody stuck. I mean, you're going to have to weigh the advantage and disadvantages, but if I'm struggling with somebody, I don't want anybody like rushing in from that parking lot. So I don't know. What do you guys do in the ER? Like, I know you've been in struggles in the ER lobby. Do you guys close the doors, or how does that work?
No, we actually cannot. As far as emergency room goes, we cannot lock the doors because anybody has to be able to enter at any time for medical emergencies. So we can't lock the doors. Even when we're in a lockdown situation, the doors don't lock. We just have to prevent access to the back of the emergency room.
Okay. But if you have enough staff, could you position one outside the door just in case the number 3 guy comes in?
Yeah, we do that for our ambulance bay entrance doors. We do position an officer out there, but and we do have an officer in the lobby, and we just have to manage the flow of traffic, and we just have to make sure nobody is allowed to enter other than somebody who is experiencing a medical emergency.
Thank you for that example. Doug is here. He says, we need laws to stop this. Wait, we already have laws. It's not working. You know what? I just read the part where it says we need laws to stop this, and I just answered in my head, we have laws. It's just a matter of enforcing them. Unfortunately, guys and gals, we have to work with this. We have to work with people who don't respect their own parents. They don't respect elders, and they're sure not going to respect security. This is what we're up against. This represents our subscriber base. I mean, our subscribers send this video to us, asking if we can critically review this situation, and I asked if we can upload it. This video is actually from a customer, which is actually a good thing. The customer ended up being the witness, and it looked like the witness was in the security officer's favor, which is a good thing. So guys, if you guys have any footage you want us to review, don't send us videos that can incriminate you, because that wouldn't be a good thing. Also want to encourage like a round table on some of these videos, just something new that we can do on these channels. I was interviewing with Damon from the Security Guard Command the other day, and I love this whole round table. I'm glad that he introduced me to this StreamYard platform, and it looks like maybe we'll do this. Westwell says we've always had one, thou shalt not steal. Yeah, back when humans were developing the world, you used to get I think your hand cut off, right? Or I think stealing was like the death penalty. It was a severe penalty, and still in some undeveloped parts of the country, you still get your hand chopped off if you steal. So yeah, don't steal. And this has been the law for many years. Yeah. So overall, what's your summary of this critical incident, David? I mean, any pointers, pros, cons, just as a summary?
Yeah, I think the intentions were of the officers and the store clerks were successful. They got their product back minus the broken bottle. I think that those subjects are probably not going to return. They met some resistance. They got some consequence out of it. In my experience, people don't return. The ones that don't get caught are the ones that come back. And they try to do it again, and they get more bold, and they try bigger ticket items. So I think definitely it was successful. One thing that I think they could have done a little bit better was communication between the store clerk and the security officer. When I'm dealing with a situation like that, like when I'm in the hospital and I'm working with the nurses on a combative person, I start to give commands to the nurses that are around me. Hey, hold this guy's arm, do this, do that. And I'm very clear about what we're doing to control the subject. And okay. I think that communication is key. And I think that the security officer may have been able to do a little bit more to communicate with his backup per se.
Okay. No, I love the fact that you're mentioning it's basically you're delegating some of the tasks, the not too dangerous tasks. So I agree. Overall, I think the security officer did a good job. He met his objectives for sure. And this person is not arrogant. I mean, to send a video to our YouTube community, security YouTube community, and have his peers critically review this, that takes a lot of courage, because not a lot of people want to be critiqued. But yes, I agree. Overall, I think he did a really good job, and hopefully we can all make some minor adjustments. Okay, so that's all we have. We'll be monitoring the comment section box in the next couple of days. Thank you so much, David, for chiming in today in this unexpected video.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, sir. Okay, bye, guys.